This here is Boom Studios' Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic issue number 42. Starting from the cover again, the emissaries say that everything could happen must, and everything that must happen will. Based on what they keep saying, I still think Tommy should die again, but I seriously doubt that will happen. Anyway, we go to Angel Grove and see the Rangers fighting Zedd's new putties. These have 4 legs and 4 arms, so they're basically spider putties. It's an interesting concept and probably something we couldn't have seen in the original TV show back then. The idea of spider putties is really only possible in these comics, or if the Mighty Morphin series was made today with modern CGI. The thing about Zedd's putties in the TV show is that they were white, and aside from their faces, didn't look like they were made of clay. At least Rita's putties were grey, so they looked more clay-like. These new putties are grey, and the way the Rangers break chunks off the putties really sells the idea that they are made of clay. As the Rangers fight these putties, they're actually being watched by Dayne. He's observing how the Power Rangers fight, so he's gathering battle information on his targets. Obviously, he'd have identified the Rangers' weaknesses, so when he takes on the Rangers next time, he'll be ready. At Safe Haven, the emissary is talking to Garrison Fox, the bad guy that got contained at the end of issue number 41. There I was thinking he was shelved and forgotten about. But here, it seems the emissary is asking Garrison Fox to assist the Omega Rangers. Vox though likes having power and considers it a blessing. He'd rather keep the power. The typical bad guy talk then. So Garrison Vox refuses to join the Omega Rangers and tells them to return him to his jar. He's been locked up before, so he doesn't care too much. Outside, Trini is talking to Kia. Last issue, we didn't really get to learn much about Kia other than she is an Omega Ranger because she was affected by the leaked Morphin energy. This little exchange between the two characters delves a bit more into Kia's past. It turns out, she was asleep when she became empowered, so when she woke up, energy was discharged from her body, which basically destroyed everything around her, seemingly killing her brother. So these powers are a curse in a sense, the way Kia got them. It's a far cry from the usual Power Rangers gaining their powers without the death of others. Next we see Tommy and Kimberly running along the Great Wall of China, which is pointless. I think this was only written in because this is a comic and it's easy to draw. It's not so easy to pull off convincingly in the live-action TV show with its relatively low budget. 2 things here. 1, Tommy is still wearing green, even though he's the White Ranger now. Not really a complaint, because Tommy did do that before in the TV show, even if it was just to match old footage for when Jason, Zach and Trini left for Switzerland due to the actors having left the show already by that point. And 2, Tommy half-lied to Alpha to convince him to teleport him and Kimberly to China, just in case there might be a monster there. Bit of a plot hole. How would Tommy even get a hint of a monster being there before Alpha at the command center? At the end of these 2 pages, Kimberly says, "Stupid new White Ranger powers." Yes, but going to China was even more stupid. Back to Safe Haven, and a new threat has been detected. Level 6 at least. So the levels are still getting higher. The point of origin is from planet Breel, the planet where Trini and Jason could hear each other's thoughts in Go-Go Power Rangers. That was something they never mentioned to the other Rangers, as it turns out that Zach was unaware of it. They just knew that they switched colours. However, that won't be the case this time, as apparently their connection to the Morphin Grid is too strong. So I guess the Omega Rangers are more powerful than the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, based on that statement. So loads of bad guys are going to planet Breel. Some we'll be familiar with, the Machine Empire as one example. The emissary says that this is like an invitation. The Queen is trying to gather the bad guys to try and shift the balance of power in the universe. So for this mission, the Omega Rangers will be given disguises. When the Rangers arrive on Breel, we see them in some pretty swanky clothing. The dress makes this Trini's favourite mission so far. C reminds the Rangers to focus on the task. So as the Omega Rangers approach the level 6 energy readings, they're stopped by the green Kedri soldiers we saw before in Go-Go Power Rangers. So not much has changed since the time jump from those events. Zack is then able to talk his way out of this situation, but Jason gives the all clear and the Omega Rangers defeat the Kedri unmorphed. It seems Kia is alien to wearing heels, as she asks Trini if she wears spikes on her feet for formal occasions, to which she replies, "Yeah, the spikier the better." Jason is like a real commando in this, as he just tells the Rangers to put the bodies in the bushes before anyone sees. Can't really see the Jason of the TV show doing that. So this event is made up of bad guys, and as a result, we see some familiar faces from the United Alliance of Evil. One of my favourite bits is when C tells the Rangers not to do anything to draw attention to themselves, and that is aimed directly at Zack, only for him to do a James Bond impression when he comes across an alien, as he says, "The name's Taylor. Zack Taylor." He is a bit silly, but that's Zack of the comics. Next, we see Queen Adriel again. So she's still Queen after duking it out with Rita in Go-Go Power Rangers. So, Adriel addresses the room, and before she even has the chance to make much progress, someone interrupts and demands her to get to the point by showing them the weapon. So Adriel has a planet-killer weapon and seemingly wants to join this group of bad guys. Adriel shows them the weapon alright. She has it activated and an energy blast fires upwards, destroying the ship. She's as ruthless as before. It turns out Adriel actually wants everyone to pledge their loyalty to her, for if they don't, they'll never leave the temple alive, and neither will the Power Rangers in attendance. So then, she figured it out and the Rangers' covers are blown. But we go back to Earth now and we're at the youth centre. We see Bulk, Skull and Candace, but this doesn't really add anything to the scene other than injecting a bit of humour to this page. Billy is talking to Kimberly and she tells him that while she was in China, Jason, Trini and Zack were never mentioned at all, and it was kind of nice. Billy looks down when he tells her they never got back to him on meeting up. Kimberly tells him they might just have to admit they're living in two different worlds now. Obviously she doesn't know that actually is the case in a literal sense. Tommy is trying to act like a leader here, but my god is he bad at it. The words he's using are corny, and he isn't even aware there's a monster attack playing on the TV behind him. I don't know if Tommy is intentionally being written as a bad leader, or if it's purely unintentional. Maybe it is just to highlight how Tommy still hasn't fit into his new role yet. I don't know. Anyway, Tommy says it's morphin time and the Rangers morph into action. So the monster attack on TV is actually Dayne. Tommy straight away makes a dog joke, which judging by Dayne's reaction doesn't impress him. Tommy can't even make a good joke. Anyway, the Rangers bring out their blade blasters and try to fire at Dayne. However, nothing happens, and it's because Dayne is using a micro-yield electromagnetic pulse to stop those weapons. The issue ends with him warning the Rangers that this won't be a fair fight. Not much actually happened in this issue. There was a short battle at the beginning with the putties just for Dayne to analyse the Rangers. Otherwise, it was mostly story-driven in getting the Omega Rangers to Breel to deal with a level 6 threat. It's great to learn more about Kia's past, and it was also good to see the Kedri come back into the series. Tommy and Kimberly in China was pointless, and we learn that Tommy is a bit of a manipulative liar in getting Alpha to teleport them there. Don't even know why Zordon didn't step in to say no. At this early stage of Necessary Evil, I do prefer seeing the Omega Rangers over the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I just feel there's a consistent story going on there with the Omega Rangers, whereas the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers are doing smaller things. And that might change as the story progresses though.